Hi everyone, I'm Hazim from Ipoh Perak. I was in KYUM from 2011 to 2013, which was a while ago. Immediately after, I went to the University of Warwick to do accounting and finance, and did my master's in MIT after that in finance. And I've been in the World Bank for the past 3 years as a risk analyst. So KYUM was a natural choice, I believe, because I was in College of Science, which was also in the middle of a jungle. So it was an environment I was very comfortable with. I knew the facilities were amazing over here, world-class teachers, and yeah, my sister also went here years before, so I knew she enjoyed her time, and yeah, I was excited to experience the same. KYUM, I think, was a very important period to transition between secondary school and flying abroad. Because at 17 years old, when you finish SPM, I don't think I was prepared to live independently abroad. But being in KYUM with so many other people who were also mentally preparing to go abroad was a special 2-year period for me, definitely. It was a time we explored ideas, we debated a whole lot of concepts, and we were encouraged by teachers over here to explore beyond the syllabus, which was not something we were familiar with before coming here. To me, it was a crucial period for self-development before preparing to go abroad. So, I mean, I was part of the student council over here. I was the president of the student council of my batch, and as part of the process to get elected, you undergo a manifesto night. I remember the night before, I had 2-3 people working with me to work on my speech, and they told me, like, no, you have something, I mean, there has to be something more in your speech, something more, another manifesto to be added in. And that was the night we had the idea for KYUM Summit. I think it's going by another name here now, KYUM, but that conference has gone on year after year, and it all began that night before election night when my friends told me, like, yeah. And we did not sleep much that night, but that was probably the most memorable night of my time here in KYUM. All right, so I'm working in the market risk team with the World Bank specifically. So we manage the market risks of the treasury portfolio of the institution. So you're talking about interest rates, foreign exchange fluctuations, credit spreads, liquidity risk, and yeah, this is the core way that the institution makes money so that we can do more projects around the world. Yeah, I mean, coming in, I did not really, I mean, I had some expectation what my time here was going to be, but yeah, the whole experience just blew whatever I expected away. Like, it is going to be probably some of the best 2 years of your life. And yeah, live the moment. I mean, be open to ideas, of course. We came from a system where we were more accustomed to follow, but over here, it is more about exploration and yeah, really just getting to know yourself and others around you more than you probably ever have before. Yeah, I mean, of course, in the midst of a pandemic, it's a bit harder for us to have all these reunions and whatnot. But I remember during my time here in KYUM, there were a lot of alum who would visit us during union nights, I mean, during Bangsawan, during Deepavali night, Raya, like, you know. So keeping that spirit together through events. So of course now we have to shift virtually, having more things where we engage and keep up to date with each other, like, yeah, will be amazing. So the journey to the World Bank, to me, I mean, of course, your whole life path adds up. I mean, one step after another leads. You don't exactly know where you might want to go, but as you get to these junctions of life, you will then look back and see how they all connected and made sense. So to me, this one started here, really, in KYUM, when adding to that story of how we added one final manifesto to the election night. That was KYUM Summit. And KYUM Summit was meant to be a way, okay? I mean, we were online, people knew about this, our reputation, but we wanted people to see us for themselves, coming here to KYUM to experience what the campus is like, what the people over here are like. That was the purpose of it. But little did I know that experience was going to lead to something even bigger in university, and that KYUM Summit experience of being in the team enabled me, made me confident that yes, I could lead something like Warwick ASEAN Conference in the UK. So Warwick ASEAN Conference was an expanded version of a conference, an international level conference on social, culture, economics, politics of ASEAN in the world. And it began with a pitch actually to Tony Fernandes in London. So at the time, he wasn't really in a good mood. Queen's Park Rangers just lost a match. He was with three other friends, I remember, and it was a very private dinner with about 70 students in London. So of course, being the celebrity that he is, everyone took pictures with him at the end of the dinner. But that was when my friend and I, both from Warwick, so my friend just spoke to me and said, Hazim, you got to go and pitch the idea we talked about, a few weeks back to Tony. This is your only shot. We're not going to get a chance like this again. I said, why don't you do it? And he's like, no, it has to be you. So the two of us walked over to Tony, and I just mentioned to him, Tony, can I have a minute of your time? I have an idea to share. He's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I was like, I went to your talk last year entitled, Is ASEAN Still Relevant? And building on the points of that talk, I want to start the first ever Warwick ASEAN Conference. So he smiled because, of course, he couldn't say he wasn't interested. He gave a 2-hour talk on it. But he just asked one question. He's like, Hazim, so he didn't know my name. He just said, I have one question for you. Is this going to be a Malaysian ASEAN thing or an ASEAN thing? And taking a step back, as simple as that question sounds, it's actually really deep, because when it comes to ASEAN, most of the events, conversations which happen in our country or in Singapore, Indonesia, whichever other ASEAN country, predominantly will be more country heavy in the sense that people of that country will be the main people organizing it or attending it. So I just told him, I knew I needed a short, witty answer. I said, Tony, for you, I'm going to make it an ASEAN thing. And that was it. That was the whole pitch. He just, reached out his hand and said, yeah, I don't know if you really have a plan, but yeah, I like your spirit. I want to see this happen. I'm going to fund you guys and be your keynote speaker. And that particular story is the same story I shared when I was interviewing with MIT, when I was interviewing for the World Bank. Because from that story, what they realize is that, it's a person who is taking initiative, who's not afraid to take chances. And yeah, it all began with that manifesto night here in KYUM and that conference, KYUM Summit, which took place first time in 2012. So I always tell people, Ipoh is not really a small town, but it's not KL, right? So still, but coming from Ipoh, I was very comfortable with the environment of, Ayakuro College, and it was also a jungle which was cleared to build a school. KYUM is the same. But yeah, having that background coming from a small city really does not mean you cannot dream big. All the more so, actually, it will make you dream bigger, because you're seeing, as much as you love home, I love Ipoh, it's the place I still call home whenever I fly back. It is the city I want to be at. But yeah, wherever you're from, however small a city, town you may come from, you can dream as big as you wish. And yeah, this is just my story, and I hope you guys can take an inspiration, a lesson or two from whatever I've shared. Hi, I'm Hazim, KY Alumni, graduated the year 2013, and I invite you to join the best A-levels college in the country.